Hello everyone. We have Maria here with us today from Ukraine, and she's an English teacher for quite some time, and she is an ESL teacher. And today we are going to ask her some questions about what are the tips she has for future ESL teachers, and how did she embark upon the journey of teaching. So welcome, Maria. Nice to have you here. Finally, we have been talking for so long, and finally we are here. Uh,
Yeah,
welcome. So,
thank you.
Maria, could you just start with a little brief introduction about yourself and just anything that our viewers can relate to you with.
Sure, with pleasure. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. And I am a teacher, and it is my vocation. It is my role. It is my hobby. It is my love for almost like half of my life. So basically, I have been teaching for 15 years since my last year of school. And then I entered a pedagogical university,
Mhm.
and I knew definitely that it is the thing which I'm going to do and the thing which I love, and I didn't have any hesitations.
Mhm.
That is why for all this time, I'm really very happy with my job. I
Mhm.
don't have any plans to change it.
Mhm.
But what I plan to do is to develop. I have a lot of directions of my development and to help people to learn English, to love language, and just I want to share and to help. And when I see my students happy, I
Mhm.
know that I'm doing my job right.
Right. That's a lovely thought. That's a beautiful thought. And I think that that is the prima facie for any teacher who is on the journey of teaching or they are thinking to become a teacher. So that is the thing that should drive them. Otherwise, eventually many will fall apart or they will think that it is no, it's not that rewarding as we thought initially. So that is something that every teacher should have in their mind naturally. It should come to you naturally. Otherwise this becomes a kind of a tedious job, as you told that you are constantly looking for development for your course curriculum, for the way you teach your students. So this can come only to a person who is naturally inclined for teaching. So that's very good to know. So what kind of students you teach, Maria? Could you just explain a little bit?
Of course, right now I'm teaching adults,
Okay.
and we are preparing for like just English. Sometimes we are preparing for exams, IELTS
Okay.
exam, and general English and business English. And those who just decided to start,
Mhm.
I like to work with very beginners
Oh.
because I know that I can help them to avoid some problems
Mhm.
which people have when they come to me at some like intermediate or upper intermediate level.
Mhm.
So basically that's it. IELTS preparation, like what I have said.
Mhm. Mhm. And when did you actually thought of, like, as you told us that you thought of becoming a teacher from a very young age, and
Right.
from there till now, uh, since the day when it actually dawned to you that you are going to be a teacher, from that day till today, how has your journey been? Was it exciting? Was it always, facing new challenges? Or was it, there were many roadblocks that you faced? How is it going, going to describe?
Okay, I think challenges were chasing me, so
Okay.
yes,
Yeah.
I was teaching to children
Hmm.
from the very start.
Mhm.
And then at some point after finishing university, I stayed at university as a teacher for students.
Mm.
And that was the time when I understood that adults are my specialty.
Mhm.
Because with children, to work with children
Mm.
and to work with adults, these are two different things.
Absolutely.
So when you decide if you want to be, and by the way, you need to try.
Mm.
Like you need to try before, if you're going to become a teacher, please try first and then decide
Mm.
uh, what is yours.
Mm.
And that is why right now I do some volunteering projects for children, but it is just as volunteering part-time job, I would say.
Uh-huh.
uh, but I am more into work with adults. Yeah.
And what are the challenges exactly that you faced, and how did you overcome those challenges? Can you just give us one or two examples which comes to your mind right away, like
Mm,
that maybe, for example, I'll just tell you that in my case, I face a few adults. I have a few students who are very interested to go and settle abroad, and they want to appear for the IELTS. Now, when I start, taking lectures, or when I start teaching them, I come to know that their English proficiency is at a very basic level. I mean, they have a hard time to even formulate or to construct a simple sentence. So it becomes very challenging for me as a trainer to communicate with them and tell them that, you know what, we are not going to prepare for IELTS with you. Rather, we are going to start with the very basics of English so that you know what exactly the level where you are right now. And from there, unless and until you come to a certain level of, say, B1 or B2, then we can start, thinking about you preparing for IELTS. So this becomes a very challenging task because they have a deadline with them. They have already, thought about that they are going to move from this state. They're going to process their application and they're going to appear for IELTS at this particular month. Now, to shatter all those dreams and to bring them back to reality is really challenging for me, practically. So what
and
kind?
cruel sometimes.
Yeah, it is. So what are the challenges that you have faced, and how did you manage to overcome those challenges?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you about this. About this.
Mhm.
Uh, yes, bringing students back to reality about IELTS exam. Yes, that's true. And usually, yeah, it's just my job to tell them the truth.
Yeah.
Sometimes person can stay, sometimes person can leave, because it is my responsibility to help this person pass this exam the way he or she wants.
Yeah.
That is why it should be very precise, or like maximum precise, yes,
Yeah.
and very real and very true. That's why like it's very, how to say, um, it's okay. I'm just telling them the truth,
Yeah.
and if they don't like it, they can leave, then they can come back, and they are always welcome. And so it's already not a challenge for me.
Mhm.
What was and maybe still is a
Mm.
challenge, mm, it's to find understanding.
Mm.
Because right now, not I'm a tutor, so I have one-to-one, mostly one-to-one lessons,
Mhm.
and it is to find the understanding between us. It is to be on the same wave, on the same page.
Yeah.
And a lot of students, or majority,
Mhm.
uh, let's say, they don't know what responsibility is.
Mm.
So to teach them responsibility, like to tell guys or whoever, yeah,
Yeah.
uh, this is your responsibility also.
Mhm.
And this is my responsibility also. If it is IELTS preparation, I'm very strict. And
Mhm.
if it is English for fun, for communication, or let's just chat,
Mhm.
okay, it's not my, it's my responsibility, but I am less strict.
Yes.
And this is with IELTS, it is completely different level
Mhm.
because your time, your money, and your plans for future,
Mhm.
which are very vivid plans. It's
Yes.
not like I want to talk English.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the life depends on it. Let's
Exactly.
say that way, because I want to immigrate to Canada as soon as possible, and
Mhm.
I need IELTS as
Yeah.
soon as possible.
Exactly.
And yeah, person has a plan, and sometimes these people, they have families and their families depend on them. So
Exactly.
I am involved in this life changing process.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is quite a bit of a challenge, especially for the IELTS candidates, as you've said. So now that we have, I don't know what is the situation right now in Ukraine. Is everything open, or are you still at home? What exactly is the situation right now?
The situation right now, everything is open.
Okay.
Maybe concerts, they are forbidden, but you can go to a pub, a bar, a restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what about your classes? Do you conduct physical classes with your students, or is it only online that you are teaching?
Online mostly, and only since like these weeks I
Mhm.
have started to propose my students that, guys, we can meet if you want, like
Okay.
physically. Yeah,
Mhm.
because many, really, it's true, many people miss this real
Exactly.
physical presence. They
Yeah.
want me to take their copybook and just to check what is there,
Exactly.
and many people ask what is better.
Mhm.
So there are advantages and disadvantages, and for me the golden medium is, the happy medium is both combination of online and of offline classes.
This is what was my next question. That is why I asked you, how is the situation there right now? Because
Reading
this,
your mind,
yeah,
a little bit. Okay.
yeah, this is what my question is, because as a tutor, I have seen personally this radical change, from being offline to online. And it is quite a bit of a change. It is not easy for every tutor around the world, but at the same time, it also opens the door of many numerous opportunities wherein you can, I mean, look at us today. You are there in Ukraine, I'm here in Mumbai. Big,
Yay,
big.
and it is cool.
So this is nice. This is something that I would also like to talk to you about, not here in this interview, but maybe later, during when we interact with each other more.
Yeah.
But this change of education, this change that has come to us, even if we don't like it, even if we are not ready to accept or embrace this change has come. And the situation here in India is still quite, it's still bad. We are still under the lockdown and we are not supposed to go out, especially the kids are not allowed to go to school or classes or whatever. And in the near foreseeable future, we don't see it opening up anytime soon. So it might take a few months,
I'm so
or
sorry for that.
yeah, it is that bad. It is really very bad. So in this situation, we are seeing that teachers who really are good teachers, who have been teaching for the past like 20, 25 years, suddenly they are now asked to appear online and conduct classes online. And it is not an easy process for a person who has crossed a certain age to embrace technology. Like, probably we are more open to it, but people who are not so conversant with the technology will find it difficult. So what is your take on it? This is better, the way we are conducting, online classes, or as you said, a mix and match. But the mix and match also has its own, pros and cons. Sometimes students would prefer to appear online, to take classes online because they don't require to travel, so they save a lot of time.
Yeah,
But at the
yeah,
same time, there is this absence of, a physical teacher present in front of you, she nagging you or pulling you by your ears and telling you what exactly is wrong with you. So that is something,
yeah.
that is how we have been brought up, that is how we have been as a student, and we grew up to an individual from that era, or that process.
Yes,
So what
yes.
is it that you prefer? What exactly is your preference, and why would you prefer the particular method?
Combination, definitely combination. Because of flexibility, we
Mm,
need to be flexible. It is easier. It
yes,
is easier than to be stubborn about
exactly.
something. And
Exactly.
especially when people say, no, 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 no online, no online, I will never ever do it. Come on, it is so good. Just do it. Let's try. Because especially if they have had a bad experience before. So if a teacher cannot provide a good experience, if you're not confident as a teacher that your student will love it,
Mm,
don't spoil, just reject.
yeah.
But if you can provide this good experience of online class, welcome. Because if I am not afraid,
Mm,
yeah, to have my online class,
mhm,
I am 100% sure
mhm,
that everything will be all right,
right.
that I will engage this person into a fun learning activity, into a pleasant, maybe not that fun if it is especially IELTS preparation, it can be boring from
Yeah.
time to time, let's be honest.
Mhm,
What I was telling, I'm losing my thoughts. Okay,
mhm,
so I mean, this stubbornness
yeah.
just prevents you from growth, from
Yes.
moving on.
Exactly.
So online is good,
Mhm,
offline is good.
mhm,
If conditions allow, do whatever you want.
mhm,
If no, try to find a way out.
mhm,
For me personally, I like this combination.
mhm,
As for example, if I'm learning the other language,
mhm.
which I'm doing right now, so I would prefer both. And
What is
online,
that
only
language?
online is
What is that language?
that is Turkish
Okay.
language.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. It just blows my mind because
Wow.
it is completely different language family,
Mhm.
and it's just like I feel how clever I become from lesson to lesson.
Uh,
You know?
uh, uh, yeah, exactly.
So, mhm, yeah.
I I I was always fascinated towards languages right from my childhood. It came very easily to me whenever there was a language class that was going on. We had a few languages while I was in my schooling days, and I used to have, I changed quite a lot of schools during my childhood. So in different states of India,
Quite a lot, you said, right? Not even few.
no, a lot,
Wow,
lot.
wow,
So
wow,
there are like more than 2,000 languages here in India that
wow,
are spoken. So
wow,
out of those, I can speak about like 5, 6 languages here,
oh
Indian
my
languages.
God, it is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, the more you learn, most of the languages have, the same connotations. It's not very different, but some of the languages are completely different. So you need to have a friend who is, a native speaker of that language, and then you start, imitating the way they say those words or the accent that they have. So each Indian state has a very different accent from the other states. So it's quite a bit of fun. And then when I was learning English, I thought that maybe I should go ahead and learn French. So I enrolled with Alliance Française the Mumbai, and from there I learned French. And fortunately, I had some of the best teachers possible to teach me
Cool.
French. So I know that it's always fascinating to learn new languages, even if you don't use it or you don't get to use it. But it's always nice to have a language skill with you. So as you were telling me that a hybrid model of both these offline and online things. It's nice. Do you teach students who are outside Ukraine also, or is it only that?
Yes,
Ah, okay.
yes, yes, yes. And but I need to be honest that I have been teaching only online
Mhm.
for a year. Only now we start to go out, so to
Mm.
say.
Okay.
Okay, so it was only online. It was only online. Okay, how is the connection? Because you were frozen for a second. No?
Uh, for me, it's okay. You are perfectly okay.
Okay. Okay, okay, good.
Mhm.
So, and yes, of course, right now I have a student from Canada and I have a student from Germany,
Mhm.
and I had students from Finland
Mhm.
and Spain and US, even US, but it was Ukrainian immigrant.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay. That's
yes,
nice.
yes.
Wow. So all these students whom you have with you, they are, I mean, student, if the student is from Canada, then of course he has not enrolled for IELTS. So are you teaching communication skills, or what is it exactly that you're teaching?
She has already passed IELTS,
Uh,
and right now we have reading club lessons. She
ah,
has passed IELTS. She also is a Ukrainian immigrant, and we were, by the way, preparing for IELTS. So she was there,
okay.
and she was having classes with me for a year or so.
Hmm,
And then because she needed really high score band, I
mhm.
don't remember, but it was higher than 6.5. It was 7.5 and higher.
Okay.
And yeah, so it was IELTS preparation. And right now, after some break, she came back and said, like, Maria, I am interested in reading club lessons.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, okay, how many books do you want to read? Can you send them to me? And I was really excited, talking of challenges, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
And then she sent me those 3 books
Mhm.
with 200 pages plus. And
Mhm.
I was like, oh my God, probably I need to read them all, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we read and discuss these books.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. That's really fascinating. To read a
yeah.
book, great. And Mike, tell us what exactly do you find, how do you find the change in education right now with the online presence or the hybrid model, as you told, versus the old school method of what we did during our childhood? How do you see
Mm.
this change exactly? Is it for good in the long run, or is it going to, somehow demean the entire education system in a way that it is not going to be so strict as we used to have during our school days? How exactly do you see
Okay.
this change?
First of all, I need to say that we need to differentiate school education
Mhm.
and after school education.
Yeah.
If we're talking of children,
Mhm.
children need society. They go to school.
Mhm.
Okay, parents, don't don't shout at me, don't be like angry with me. But children go to school to get the society,
Mhm.
to socialize.
Yeah.
And that is why I think schools are important. And as far as I am not a school teacher, so I'm not a specialist in this question. But from psychology, 100%, I know this opinion. It is professional opinion, not my
Yeah.
opinion, that
Mhm.
school children need
Schools.
university guys and girls. Any change is for good. We shouldn't be stressed.
Mhm. Yeah.
We should look for this flexibility
Mm.
and stay positive. Because if we cannot influence,
Mhm.
if we cannot change it, if, for example, it is my neighbor
Mhm.
and I can meet him or her offline,
Mhm.
okay, but everything is individual and you need to, as I see it, you need to do everything as it is comfortable for
Mhm.
you personally.
Even with adults, Maria, I would tell you that, in certain cultures, for example, especially here in Asia, we tend to see the teacher as an authoritative figure. We always regard the teacher as somebody who is going to guide us and who is going to tell us what is right from wrong and how to behave and everything. So somehow or the other, the teacher becomes a kind of a role model for us. And I
Mm.
believe it is the same for each and every Asian country, not only in India, but also perhaps also in Japan, in the far eastern countries also. So even for adults, when they grow up from that culture or that mindset, that teacher is the person who is going to tell them or who is going to bring all the things together or solve the puzzle for them. And what happened was that the teacher was present in front of them when they were students, and now due to certain circumstances they have to learn English, and it is the required protocol from the company that they are working, and they need to have basic English language skills, and they have enrolled themselves in an English institution. And now they find that the teacher is sitting behind a computer,
Here, yes.
right? So this changes the dynamics altogether. So the classroom setting is missing. The teacher is not present in front of them. Second point. Third point, the teacher is not as intimidating as it was when they were a child. So all these factors together, there is a kind of a resistance, I would say, from the students. It comes, I'm not saying that 100% of them are the
Mhm,
same,
mhm.
but the older the student is, maybe 40 plus or something, then they are under the mindset, or they could possibly be under the mindset that, what, this doesn't work out for me. This is something that I'm not very used to. The teacher is not in front of me, so how do I know whether I'm right or wrong, or whether this entire scenario is for me or not? So how do you think that this challenge could be met, or what should be done?
It should be, it should be met face to face, like openly. Yes, because why not? If the reason is culture, so I cannot say anything here. If the reason is fear,
Mhm. Yeah.
um, we can just talk over it. And as a teacher, I can help you to overcome this fear.
Mhm.
Sometimes I can say, okay, let's try. If
Mhm.
you want, if you don't like it, I even will not take money, for example, for the first class or for the first 15 minutes or 30 minutes. It doesn't matter. It's not about time.
Mhm.
It's about this understanding
Mhm.
what I have taught before.
Yeah.
You need to truly, honestly, sincerely
Mhm.
try to understand the other person.
Exactly.
And this warmth, which is inside you, if
Mhm.
it is seen,
Mhm.
I think challenge
Yeah.
is
Exactly.
challenge is overcome that
Yes.
way.
Exactly. Exactly. I agree to that. I agree to that 100%. It is only when you get to see the person right in front of you, where it doesn't matter whether you are seeing him or her face to face, or through an online meeting. But yes, when you communicate, and if there is a connection that could be established, then it works. Most of the time, it works. So, and let us move on to the next question. As an English teacher, we come across, suppose now let me give you this example. I have traveled extensively in Europe, to different countries in Europe, and most of the countries where, apart from the UK, of course, there are countries where English is not spoken that frequently. And the citizens of those countries, they are very reluctant to speak in English, not because they do not know English. It is because of the fact that they might have certain kind of inhibitions or hesitance, that if I do speak and if I make a mistake, then people will probably make fun of me. So that hesitation I have come across personally. This is my own personal opinion. I could be very wrong about it, and I do not want to offend anyone. It's just an observation that I made, because I have seen people who can actually speak in English, but they do not open their mouth unless and until it is an absolute necessity for them to speak
Yes.
up. You know,
Yeah.
and uh, that is where I thought that, what, I can do a lot. As a teacher. Maybe I can just offer my services and tell them just open up. And once they start opening up, it becomes, they are the ones who are quite surprised, and they say, what, I was thinking that I could never speak in English, but having a conversation with you for the past 20-25 minutes, I think I'm really good at it. So that is how perceptions change
Yeah.
within a few minutes. So as a teacher, as an English teacher, how do you see that, what could be done to students who are hesitant? Even in India, it is the same. There are many people who might be good in English, but their spoken English is not that fluent, or they do not have the enough practice to speak that fluently. Uh, to those students, or to those teachers especially, how do you recommend those teachers, to bring the students out of their comfort zone and be able to make them speak? What is your advice to them?
Do you mean to encourage them out of class or while having a class?
Anyway, it doesn't matter. As a teacher, suppose I'm a teacher and I'm a human being at the same time, and I come across a person who is good in English, but he or she is just reluctant to speak that language. They can probably become my student at a later date, but how do I, as a teacher, start interacting with them to bring them out of the comfort zone? So
May- Mhm. Maybe they don't want to go out of this comfort zone.
yes, most of them do not. Most of the
So
people do not.
that's the response, those 50% of responsibility I told you. You
Mhm,
cannot force anybody.
mhm,
Motivate, encourage, it's only through talking,
mhm,
but dragging out, it's not your job.
mhm,
How can you learn to swim
mhm,
if you just go into water, for example, till your knee high?
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we are like, what can I do?
Mm,
Just imagine, probably you had such a person who like, okay, I am just standing, I am watching, okay, I will not swim, I am afraid, or the water is cold, or whatever. What can I do? I can just drag this person, you know. So if I am physically with my students somewhere, I
mhm,
will help and I will encourage, but it's
mhm.
not my responsibility.
Absolutely.
So first of all, it just, if person wants to stay in comfort,
Mm,
okay, stay in comfort. And what will you do? What
mhm,
will you do next?
mhm,
What is the purpose? If you just anybody should understand, if he or she stands at on the place where he or she is
mhm,
without going out,
mhm.
they will stand there and like without
Permanently.
progress, without progress.
Right, right.
So sometimes I am against violence. If
Absolutely.
for a person it is comfortable, just stay, take your time.
Mhm,
And when the life pushes you, for example, IELTS is very soon, or for example, business trip, or for example, business negotiation, or for
mhm,
example, really very interesting position
mhm,
in your company,
mhm,
when circumstances come, or when the person understands, I really want to move.
Yeah.
Because inner motivation is the best motivation. I can help, I can explain how to do it. And after all, we are learning through mistakes. If we
Yes.
don't make mistakes, we are probably not alive, if I
Exactly.
can say it that way.
Exactly. Exactly.
So either stay where you are without any growing and seeing the world, or move on. That's all.
Now, suppose this situation has changed and there is a student in your classroom, in your physical classroom.
Okay.
He or she knows how to speak English, but he or she is very reluctant to speak English just because of the fear factor that if he opens his mouth, then he is going to make a mistake. And in front of 20 or 25 other students, he is going to look like a fool. So especially with adults, because when we grow up, so does our ego. And suppose already I'm quite established in my own position, in whatever position I'm holding in my company, wherever my business or whatever I'm doing as a professional, I'm successful at it. But at the same time, I don't want to look foolish. So,
Yeah.
and you are the teacher there, and the person is very reluctant to speak just because of the fact that he will make a mistake. So what is your role as a teacher to drag him out and make him swim?
I would encourage the mistake. Like, let's make mistakes. Let's talk. Like, maybe it sounds how to say, strange, but what I usually say, the only way to learn to speak, that freedom, what you're talking about right now, it is through speaking. So guys, let's make mistakes, let's speak, let's make fun. And usually as a teacher, just to make it soft and kind in a funny way, humor kills any fear.
Exactly.
So it can be, please, if you're a teacher, involve role plays, involve negotiation, involve debating, discussing, get to know your student closer. What does he or she like? A movie, actor, hobby, whatever. Start talking over it. Don't drag them violently.
Absolutely.
Just do it softly. Time will come. Or maybe person will disappear, It is like also possible, but it is his or her choice, and we need to respect. Mostly if they need English, they come back. Many students of mine, they came back.
Okay. Okay. That's nice. And I'm really very fascinated to know about the story of this person whom you mentioned. She was preparing for her IELTS with you, and then she moved on to Canada, and then she came back again. So this just goes on to tell us and the viewers as a whole that what a great teacher you are. Uh, this is just one of the examples. So Maria, just before we wrap up the session, I would like to ask you, suppose I am a new teacher who is contemplating hard whether I should take up this profession or not. What would be your message to me as a wannabe teacher or the future teacher, future English teacher? So what is your message to all those people who are thinking right now or who are at the edge of that particular?
Okay. Stop thinking, start acting.
Great. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Sweet, short, and precise.
Yeah, you are spending your energy on thinking, and then when you need to act, you already, okay, I don't have any energy, I'm not motivated, I don't have, no, forget about it. Just like if you want, it's like, as I told, try it. And even after one lesson, for example, I'm translating, I can translate. And in my practice, I was translating a lot, but it took me some time to understand. And it happened only through practice.
Right.
That I don't get that satisfaction and pleasure which I can take from teaching.
Exactly.
So right now, if somebody wants me to translate, I do it only for very big money. So just like, because yeah, I can do, I will do, but my pleasure, my true nature belong, like it is teaching. I love teaching. I love helping people, and I somehow I'm blessed by God. I knew it from the very beginning.
Right.
And when I started to teach, from year to year, I loved it more and more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you hesitate in anything, just try. And when you try, you will understand. Unless you try, you can only live in your head and never see the real ocean.
Exactly.
Real life.
Exactly. I mean, this is one of the best responses that I've ever had.
Thank
Just
you.
act on it. I mean, that is what it actually comes down to, right? Unless you try it, unless you actually do it, you will never know for sure what exactly is your true calling, whether you are meant for teaching or not. Many people unfortunately think of teaching as a money-making tool because now of the online situation that we have. So people have more time at their disposal. They do not have to go back to offices, or the entire dynamics have changed. So since it has changed, many people think that they could become a teacher, but it is not that way. I mean, it is only meant for some people who have the true calling, as you have mentioned, that it came to you at a very young age. And from there, you have developed yourself as a teacher. That is how it is mostly. Maria, the last question that I need to tell you or to ask you is that what is your general message to the entire world out there, given the situation right now we are in? And what is your message to all of us?
Oh my God, yeah, I was not ready for that question, you know.
Just
Okay,
anything that comes to your mind.
okay. Love and be loved.
Oh,
And
right.
love and be loved, value people around you, and value the life, and just stay happy. And when you live this real life, you overcome anything. English, French,
Yeah,
Turkish,
exactly.
some exams,
Exactly.
IELTS preparation, you overcome, because people who are behind, who are next to you, who are in front of you, they support you. And if you still do not have one, find your one. Yes, or
Ah,
two. I would
that's
like.
very nice. That's very nice. Yes, entirely. The ultimate thing that comes down to, human life is the love, and love, hope, peace, everything should be there in every person's life. And I think that this was a lesson that we could all learn. The way the world has changed. Unfortunately, some people are still in the learning process. They have still not got used to the fact that it is ultimately we are all humans and we should practice more of love. It was lovely talking to you, Maria. It was really a pleasure talking to you. Finally, we could meet, and there would be many more
Thank you.
sessions, I hope. Thanks a lot, and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you. Thank you. For you too. Thank you for organizing this interview, for doing such a great thing. You see, you are creating, and creating is more difficult than distracting. So I wish you also prosperity in this creation, in this constructing something beautiful, something new, something involving, and spreading the light onto people's lives. So thank you very much for posting that message on Facebook, for finding me, and for this beautiful interview. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Thank you. Bye. Take care.
Bye bye. Bye.